how an ex-Twitter employee has built a micro SaaS that generates $34,000 a month in recurring revenue. So you'll be learning about the founder, how they got there, what they built, and how they grew their micro SaaS to this extremely profitable amount of revenue. So the founder of this micro SaaS is called Jen Yip, and they spent 4 years at Twitter, and they went from a startup employee to more of a cog in the machine. And by the end of that, they were really burnt out, and so they really needed to make a change. They took some time off and traveled, and when they came back, they got back into coding and ended up launching the micro SaaS Lunch Money. And so what is Lunch Money? It's delightfully simple personal finance and budgeting made for you, the modern day spender. It's trusted and loved across 30 plus countries. And so it's more of a B2C app, and they let you do quite a few things, from seeing the big picture, so you can import directly from your banks, either by uploading CSVs. You can also surface spending habits, set monthly budgets, simplify your finances, and improve financial awareness. So how did this product start seeing initial traction? Well, this started out with a Hacker News post. If you've never used Hacker News before, it's extremely popular with programmers, developers, and entrepreneurs, and all the posts are going to be sorted by upvotes. And so where Jen posted this was under the show section. If you zoom in here, the show section is going to be people displaying products they've actually built. And her post ended up reaching the front page here, and they got over 1,000 signups during that time, and this really helped build the initial traction for the product. And it really validated it as well, as they went from quitting freelancing at that point to focusing on Lunch Money full time. So from there, how did they go from that amount of revenue to $34,000 a month? And so for the first 2 years, Lunch Money grew organically. It did so mostly through their blog posts and personal tweets. And these personal tweets came from their Twitter @lunchbag, was giving a description of themselves, solopreneur, engineer, and designer, linking to Lunch Money. They have around 6,500 followers. Jen also focused on building Lunch Money publicly, leveraging their love of writing to share their experiences and tell their story of the product in real time. And there were a few articles that did really well for them. The first post that did really well for them was called "The Biggest Mistakes They've Made with Lunch Money So Far." This was written in February 17th of 2020, and it was written 6 months since the official launch. And so it was a very honest account of things they would improve, such as having test variables in place or testing in place to check critical environment variables. As when they had launched on Hacker News, they were getting tons of errors where people couldn't connect their bank accounts. They also made a mistake of assuming what was really important to users. So the lesson learned here was focus on the MVP and then wait for feedback to see what people are actually looking for. The post that did really well for them was optimizations as a company of one. This was also written in 2020. And there are some really cool lessons here that make sense in retrospect, but it's something you almost have to learn how to do, such as implementing safeguards. At the beginning, they were reviewing their own code before every change, but as they started to get more users, pushing straight to production was causing issues and more bugs, and so they realized they need to have an internal beta testing program, which they implemented shortly after. Another great lesson here was self-triage support tickets. So they were receiving 100 support tickets every week during this period, except every email was coming to the main inbox. And so what they did was implement a layer above that, making so the customer had to select what type of issue it was. And through filtering and matching in their inbox, they were able to automatically sort a lot of things, which made it super easy to get to all these queries in a timely manner while prioritizing the ones that were more important, such as bug fixes. There's quite a few more lessons in these posts too, and I would encourage you to check them out as well. In terms of why Jen found these really successful, it's that they were very transparent about the journey, talking about their mistakes as well as their successes, and this helped these posts resonate quite strongly with the readers. Lunch Money has also been experiencing quite a bit of growth recently. Late last year, Mint, which was the most popular player in the field for visualizing your expenses and simplifying your finances, as well as building that financial awareness, it shut down as the parent company couldn't justify the monetization they were getting from their users. Although unfortunately for those users, they weren't able to utilize Mint anymore, Lunch Money was there as a strong alternative, and it's a wave they're still riding. We've seen a $10,000 monthly recurring revenue increase since this, and they had more than a 5x growth in daily new signups during the first few weeks after Mint decided to close it. And Mint has over 4 million users, or they had over 4 million users, so they're starting to see a trickle down of people switching to a product such as Lunch Money, which can achieve the same set of features and functionality they're looking for. If you've gotten this far in the video, I'm sure you want to build your very own micro SaaS, but first you'll need an idea. And that's where I have you covered with free sneaky micro SaaS ideas you can steal. All you have to do is enter in your email. there's a link for this in the description below. I also have a complete course on how to build your very own micro SaaS, even if you don't have any SaaS experience. And it's a step-by-step academy that's going to show you how to build, scale, and profit from your very own micro SaaS. There's a link for this in the description as well, so make sure you check that out too. Jen also has some advice around building a sustainable bootstrapped micro SaaS, and that's to chase passion over profits. As passion can be like the nitro for your work. As if you have the motivation from the passion to go and build something, you're going to find it rewarding as you put in the work and the discipline, and you can be rewarded internally for every single problem you solve or everything you take off your to-do list. If you're only chasing profits, you're only going to feel good if profits go one way, and that is up. This can be an issue too in terms of your work to what you see as the output, as sometimes getting more profit from new features or anything like that can take time, and there's not going to be that sense of immediate gratification. This is going to conclude the video here on how an ex-Twitter employee built a $34,000 a month recurring revenue micro SaaS. An extremely successful example. They built a really awesome micro SaaS that's used in over 30 plus countries. Let me know in the comments what you think of Lunch Money and what you liked about the story. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and I would love it so much if you smash that like and subscribe button below. I'm coming up with new SaaS stories just like this all the time, so you don't want to miss out. The information for this video came from a really good post on Indie Hackers. I'll leave a link in the description for the full interview below. Also check out the channel as I have many more stories just like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.